Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson I'm going to teach you how to prove trig identity. Of course, there's a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. So first of all, let me just unpack the syllabus dot point first. We need to know cos sec of A is equal to 1 over sine of A. To remember this, the third letter, cos sec, so S for sine, so 1 over sine of A. And we need to know sec of A is 1 over cos of A. So the third letter again, sec, so C for 1 over cos, C for cos, remember that. And cos of A is cos of A over sine of A. And we're going to use all these facts to prove the identities. And we need to be able to use this identity to prove this and this. Okay, so keep that in mind. And if you would like to know how to derive cos square of x plus sine square of x equal to 1, please check the description below. I have the video link for you. Okay, now let's just get into it. So first one is we want to prove this identity, okay, using this trig identity. So let me just write this down. Okay, I just write proof 1 plus tan square of x is equal to sec square of x. So step number 1, we need to write left hand side. Okay, so we write left hand side is equal to 1 plus tan square of x. Then we need to use this identity here. So cos square of x plus sine square of x is equal to 1. So we know that on the left hand side is 1 plus tan square of x to approach to right hand side, which is sec square of x. So remember, sec of x is 1 over cos of x. So we have to divide everything by cos square of x. So if I divide everything by cos square of x, this gives me cos square of x and cos square of x, and we divide this by cos square of x, and this will becomes sec square of x. Okay, because it's the third letter to help you remember. So sec square of x, and cos square of x over cos square of x is 1, and sine over cos is 10. Okay, so therefore this give me 10 square of x. So now this will give me sec square of x, and this is equal to right hand side. There you go. So we can write therefore 1 plus 10 square of x is equal to sec square of x. There you go. Let's prove the second one. Let's prove this one here. So let me write this down. Proof 1 plus cot square of x is equal to cos sec square of x. So step number 1, we start from left hand side and then we approach to right hand side. Okay, so keep that in mind. So left hand side is equal to 1 plus cot square of x. And don't forget, we need to pay attention on the right hand side, okay? And the right hand side is cos sec square. So that means 1 over sine, okay? The third letter to help you remember, okay? So which is 1 over sine. So we start from Pythagorean trig identity first. So cos square of x plus sine square of x is equal to 1. And now I just divide everything by sine square. So I divide this by sine square of x and this sine square of x. And divide this by sine square of x. And this will give me cot. Okay, because cos over sine is cot. Okay, sine over cos is 10. Just remember. So cot square of x. And plus, this give me 1. And 1 over sine is cos sec of x. So therefore 1 over sine square will give me cos sec square of x. There you go. So therefore this will give me cos sec square of x. So which is equal to right hand side. So therefore 1 plus cot square of x is equal to cos sec square of x. There you go. So let's go through a few examples, okay? First one. So to prove left hand side is equal to right hand side, so we start from the left first, okay? Always. So let me just write this down. Left hand side is equal to cot square theta plus 1 times by sine square theta. And we need to focus on the right hand side as well, okay? Don't forget. So because we want to approach to the right hand side. So first one is we're using, because it's cot square theta plus 1, so we need to use this trig identity here. So cos square theta plus sine square theta is equal to 1. And we want cot square theta. And we know cot equal cos over sine. So we divide everything by sine theta. So if I divide this by sine theta and sine square theta and divide this by sine square theta. So this will give me cot, okay? But it's cot square. It's because it's cos square theta over sine square theta. So cot square theta. And then sine square theta over sine square theta is 1. And this one here, we just need to write 1 over sine square theta. We don't need to write cos sec square theta because we just want to simplify in this case here. So equal to, so therefore this one here will give me 1 over sine square theta. And we times by sine square theta. And if I simplify this, and this will give me 1. So that equal to right hand side. So therefore, cot square theta plus 1, and we times by sine square theta is equal to 1. There you go. Second one. So again, we start from left hand side. So let me just write this down. So left hand side is equal to 1 plus cot theta over sine of theta. Then we know that on the left hand side, there is no cot, okay? So just have cos and sine. So therefore, we need to convert cot theta becomes cos theta over sine theta, okay? So that's what you need to do. So on the left hand side, we just keep going and simplify it. So 1 plus on the numerator, which is the top, we plus cos theta over sine of theta, because cot of theta is equal to cos of theta over sine theta. And this is over sine theta. But then too many fractions, okay? So I just, instead of doing that, okay, this is exactly the same as divided by sine of theta. And write like this is much easier. So now I just simplify the inside brackets. So that will give me, which is adding fractions. So 1, so that is just exactly the same as sine of theta over sine of theta. And we add cos of theta over sine of theta, because 1 is equal to sine of theta over sine theta, because we just want to adding fractions. So when you add fractions, common denominator must be the same. So for 1, I just time by sine over sine, okay? That's all I do. So now I just bracket it. Now divided by sine theta is exactly the same as time by 1 over sine of theta, okay? So now inside brackets, I just want to write in one term, okay? So that will give me sine theta plus cos of theta over sine of theta. And then don't forget, we need to times by 1 over sine of theta. So now we just times that two fractions together. So that will give me sine of theta plus cos theta. You times by 1 is exactly the same. And the denominator, sine theta times sine theta, is sine of square theta. So that is equal to the right hand side. So which is equal to right hand side. There you go. So you can just write the statement out. So you go, therefore, 1 plus cot of theta over sine of theta is equal to sine theta plus cos theta over sine square of theta. There you go. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How do you go? So let me go through them with you, okay? So before I do that, please do not forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't done so you can help me to grow my channel. So let's get into this. So start from left hand side. So we just left hand side is equal to sec of theta minus cos of theta. So which equal to, now we just add fractions, okay? Sec theta is equal 1 over cos theta. So 1 over cos of theta minus cos of theta. Then we need to add the fractions. Now to add this, of course, we need to times by cos theta over cos of theta. So that will give me 1 minus cos square of theta over cos of theta. Now we need to look at the right hand side. So the right hand side is sine theta times tan theta. So now we need to convert 1 plus cos square theta is equal to something else, okay? We don't need that. But then when you see the equation like this, 1 plus or 1 minus cos or sine square or tan square theta, we need to use this trig identity here, okay? So cos square theta plus sine square theta is equal to 1. And now we just move on this side. So this will give me sine square theta is equal to 1 minus cos of square theta. So there you go. So therefore, this will give me sine square theta over cos of theta. But then sine square theta, don't forget, this one I can rewrite this is exactly the same as sine theta over cos of theta and times by sine of theta. But then sine theta over cos theta is tan of theta. And you times by sine of theta. So there you go. So that is equal to right hand side. So therefore, okay, sec theta minus cos theta is equal to sine theta times tan of theta. Okay, so you can just write equal right hand side. That's all you need to do. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. Let me go through it, okay? So start with left hand side, okay, always. So left hand side is equal to sec square of x plus sec of x and tan of x. So now we need to approach through the right hand side. So please take note, okay? Always focus on right hand side so you know where you're heading to. So on the right hand side, we don't want any tan or sec. So what you need to do, we need to write in fractional form. That's the first thing, okay? So this become 1 over, because sec is 1 over cos. The third letter to help you remember, C for cos, okay? So 1 over cos square of x. This plus 1 over, sec mean 1 over cos of x. And times by, now tan is sine over cos of x, okay? So sine of x over cos of x. Now this is exactly the same as 1 over cos square of x plus sine of x over cos square of x. Now we just need to write in one fraction, okay? So that will give me, because the common denominator is cos square of x, so they're both the same. So which is equal to 1 plus sine of x over cos square of x. There you go. That is equal to right hand side. That's it. So part 2, again, we always start from left hand side, okay? So let me write this down. Left hand side is equal to, so we already proved from left hand side is equal to 1 plus sine of x over cos square of x. So let me just write this down. So that becomes 1 plus sine of x cos square of x. That is from part 1. So if you look at the right hand side, so we only have 1 over 1 minus sine of x. And then we have cos square of x here. So we need to convert that into 1 minus sine square of x. So we can factorize, okay? So always look at the right hand side so we can head into the right directions. So to do this, we have to start from cos square of x plus sine square of x, which is equal to 1. So if we move on this side, so that means cos square of x is equal to 1 minus sine square of x. But don't forget, from difference of 2 square, we know that a square minus b square will give me a minus b and a plus b. So this means that, okay, 1 minus sine square of x is exactly the same as 1 minus sine x and 1 plus sine of x. So let me just write this down. So this becomes 1 plus sine of x over 1 minus sine of x and 1 plus sine of x. And now we can simplify, okay? This is just like one of the brackets here. We cancel this. So that will give me the numerator, leave with 1. So 1 over 1 minus sine of x, which is equal to right hand side. There you go. Please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How do you go? So let's go through it together. So first of all, we know that tan of theta is equal to sine of theta over cos of theta. Let me just write this down first. So this is exactly the same as sine of theta over cos of theta. And cot of theta is cos of theta over sine of theta. So we add cos of theta over sine of theta. Now we're just adding fractions. So when you add fractions, the common denominator must be the same. So therefore, I need to times this by sine of theta and times this by sine of theta. And this one, we need to times this by cos of theta and times this by cos of theta. So now that will give me sine square of theta over sine theta cos theta plus, okay, this is cos of square theta over sine theta cos theta. Now the denominator the same, so we just write in one fraction, okay? So that will give me sine square theta plus cos square theta over sine theta cos theta. But don't forget, cos square of theta plus sine square of theta is equal to 1. So therefore, the numerator will give me 1 over sine of theta cos of theta. This is exactly the same as 1 over sine of theta times 1 over cos of theta. So this will give me cosec of theta times by sec of theta. Remember the third letter, okay? S stands for sine. So cosec of theta equal 1 over sine theta. And sec theta, the third letter C. So that means sec theta will give me 1 over cos of theta. So that's the answer. So what have we got there? So there you go. So the answer is B. So sec theta times by cosec theta. And that's it. I hope you got all of them correct. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.